Day 2 of the SEA Games, and diving goals were up for grabs in the men's 3-metre springboard and women's 10-metre synchronised platform. Singapore had never before won the netball gold at the SEA Games. History beckoned ahead of the final against Malaysia. Games poster boy Joseph Schooling took to the pool, looking to add to his tally of 7 goals from previous SEA Games. And there were 7 goals up for grabs as the martial arts masters of Wushu took to the floor.
Having won both golds on offer on day 1, Malaysia were looking to make it 4 out of 4 in day 2's diving gold medal events. First up was the men's 3-metre springboard. And no doubting the favourite, Malaysian 21-year-old Ooi Tze Liang, winner of this event in the 2013 SEA Games in Myanmar and triumphant in the 10-metre synchronised platform 24 hours earlier. He was in a league of his own as a succession of world-class dives set him apart at the top of the leaderboard. Singapore's Timothy Lee was in second position after 4 rounds, but a poor 5th dive meant that the remaining medal positions were up for grabs, with Indonesia's Ahmad Sukran Jamjani in pole position for the silver.
Pressure dive for the Indonesian. He comes out pretty well. A lot of points at stake, and look, he is stoked to get that dive in. An outstanding dive under pressure too. 71.4.
Singapore's Mark Lee, twin brother of Timothy, was back in contention for the bronze, and his best dive of the afternoon earned him a 69.70 and a provisional 3rd place.
Oh, isn't he good? 3.4 the degree of difficulty. Forward, 2.5 somersault, 2 twists. The judges can only go down and hit big numbers here. A medal at stake. Execution looked good. Only 2.8 the degree of difficulty, so not a very difficult dive. It's the most straightforward one of his routine. It's just, has he done it well enough?
So a poor penultimate dive from Timothy Lee ultimately cost him the bronze medal, which instead went to his twin brother Mark. Silver for Ahmad Sukran Jamjani of Indonesia. Another diving gold though for Ooi Tze Liang, his second of the games, in which he hopes to bring back all 4 available gold medals for Malaysia in the coming days. Into the women's 10-metre synchronised platform, and Malaysia were looking to continue their diving dominance. The team of Tracy Tukiet and Mun Yi Leong led right from the off, and they never looked to be in any danger of being caught on their way to a 4th Malaysian gold out of 4 diving events. The Singapore pairing of Myra Lee and Frida Lim had been looking good for the silver, but their 4th attempt left their position in real jeopardy, with just 1 round remaining and 4 nations in contention for the silver and bronze medals. But a much improved 5th and final dive from Singapore's Lee and Lim looked to cement the silver medal for the host nation. Runners-up back at 2013 SEA Games, Myanmar's Nechi Susulat and 12-year-old Saw Nandar's final dive disappointed. And that left Thailand's Jia Chaya Yothongios and Sarincha Baranapol to score an impressive 54.60 with the final dive of the day to take that much coveted bronze medal position, their first SEA Games diving women's medal since 2009. For Malaysia though, 4 out of 4 in the diving, and the team well on track to take all 8 gold medals on offer, just as they did 2 years ago in Myanmar.
With the stage set for the grand finale in the women's netball, Malaysia took on the home nation Singapore in a repeat of the 2001 final. Malaysia won gold on that occasion, and this is the first time netball has featured in the biennial multi-sport event since. The two countries tied 35 all in the round-robin game on Thursday, and it was a tight affair when the two met again for the gold. We join the match with just over 3 minutes to go, with Singapore leading 43 goals to Malaysia's 41.
Now Chen will go for goal. And importantly, they lead by 3 goals. Is Singapore putting their opponents to the sword here? Could be 4 goals in a moment. No, it isn't. Malaysia ball. They need to lift here, Malaysia. They need to believe. Bit of sloppy work there. And Melzeman at the back. She's fantastic in that situation when it's 50-50, but she has to get them in, and it's a Singapore ball. Players can barely hear themselves thinking here at the moment. Let's go Singapore, let's go is the shout out. So that's just about the winner. And after that, So puts that away. 4 goals in front. Anything can happen in netball, but it's looking very promising now. Still a minute and a half to go. One more final thrust for the Malaysians. Hazanan, over 100 tournament goals, and she's still trying to lift her team. They need a crucial interception here. They need to work very closely with their opponent, but Singapore have done that relatively easily. Chen. Here's a chance. So, in it goes. They'll be the gold medalists, the locals. 44 seconds left on the clock, but the crowd know it now. The team of Ang Chen, Lili Chen, Rubalan Ho, Ko Liu, Lim Lin So, and Abdul Razak are going to be gold medalists here at the SEA Games. Hazanan missing. He would have missed those 10 minutes ago, but it's the end of the match. Hazanan, with 5 seconds to go, scores the goal as the clock runs down. Gold medal, Singapore.
What a tight encounter that was. Singapore avenging that 2001 final defeat to Malaysia to secure their first netball gold medal in the SEA Games. Even the Singaporean Prime Minister and President joined in the celebrations. So runners-up in the event were Thailand and Brunei, who both secured bronze, Malaysia with silver, and of course Singapore adding to their ever-growing gold medal tally.
In gymnastics, it was the turn of the women at the Bishan Sports Hall with the team event, which doubled as the qualifying ground for the individual finals to come. In the team event, gymnasts from each nation compete on each of the 4 apparatus: floor, vault, uneven bars and beam, with the 4 best individual scores counting towards a combined total. The team who top scored across all disciplines would take home the gold medal. Phan Thi Ha Tan was Vietnam's first World Championship medalist back in 2011, and here she recorded the third best all-round score, but it was only good enough to lift Vietnam to 4th in the team standings. It was the Philippines who pipped them to the bronze medal by the narrowest of margins. "16-year-old Ava Lorraine Verteflor's strong showing on the uneven bars playing a major role in their success. And her teammate Elizabeth Leduc's impressive vault helped her secure a place in the all-round final as well. Singapore have held the SEA Games women's team title since 2005, but they were fielding a squad of Games debutants here. Team captain Janessa Dai led by example, with her floor routine scoring 12.9. Her compatriot Nadine Nathan also had an impressive showing across the board, scoring particularly well on both the beam and the vault. But the host nation had to settle for silver. The gold medal went to Malaysia, and their star performer was undoubtedly Farah Ann Abdul Hadi, as they outscored Singapore 206.2 to 202.5. The university student who took up gymnastics at the age of 3 top scored with 13.8 on the floor, as well as leading the way for all qualifiers for the individual all-around final. And in the final rotation, her 13.55 on the vault ultimately proved decisive. Malaysia had their first gymnastics gold of these SEA Games.
Vietnam are emerging as the dominant nation in fencing at these SEA Games as they racked up another 2 golds in the team events to add to the victories already celebrated in the men's and women's individual épée and sabre. Surely the most dramatic win of all came at the expense of the host nation in front of a raucous crowd at OCBC Arena Hall in the men's épée. A topsy-turvy affair saw the lead constantly swinging back and forth until Singapore finally gained the upper hand, causing great consternation to the Vietnamese coach. With the scores level at 43 all, at the end of the regulation 3 minutes, an extra minute was required to decide the winner. And it was Nguyen Tien Nhat who struck. That spelt heartbreak for Lim Wei Win and Singapore. It had been an epic tussle, but the host nation were left with a silver medal as Vietnam took gold. And another victory soon followed for the Vietnamese men in the team sabre. This time the gold medal was won with comparative ease against Indonesia. The score 45-30 in the final. So looking for a gold medal clean sweep, the Vietnamese women took on the host nation in the final of the team foil. But this time there will be no stopping Singapore. A comfortable 45-26 win, their first gold in this event since 2007, and a special moment for Wang Wengying. Her second gold medal of these games would also be her last, as she's retiring at the end of these SEA Games.
The Singapore Expo hosted the judo. 5 gold medals were up for grabs on the first day, 3 for men and 2 for women in a range of weight categories. First up, in the men's 66 kilogram category, there was delight for the Indonesian support as Mohamed Sayaful Rahario triumphed over Sawat Petsing via Ippon. Next, in the women's 52 kilo division, Vietnam's Thi Tan Thuy Nguyen was crowned the gold medalist in the women's second lightest division. Later in the evening, there were emotional scenes as Thailand's Masayuki Tarada gained his first gold medal at a competitive games in the men's 66 to 73 kilo category. And in the night's fourth gold medal bout, there was a second triumph for Indonesia as Nikarek Anipadini was awarded the gold medal following an ippon.
And this is your last final of the evening.
Indonesia completed a hat-trick of gold medals in the 73 to 81 kilo category when Gerard George was given the decision after a strenuous confrontation with Thailand's Nopachi Kocharat. Indonesia, the judo royalty, on day one.
Rugby Union has appeared at the SEA Games before, but this year is the first time the Sevens version has appeared on the programme. And the women's final offered the host nation a chance of the gold medal, with Singapore facing the favourites Thailand in the final at the Choa Chu Kang Stadium. But in a sign of things to come, Uttampon Liamrat went over for Thailand in the opening 19 seconds for the first try of the match. Within a minute, Thailand had scored again. Chitchanok Yusri claiming the first of what would be 2 tries for her. 6 unanswered tries in the first half for Thailand were followed by 3 in the second. The last of them seeing Yusri complete her brace to secure the gold medal for Thailand. A resounding win, 39-0. So silver in the women's, it would be bronze in the men's event for Singapore as the Philippines and Malaysia battled for the gold. Again, this was a rather one-sided affair as the Philippines bagged 2 first-half tries through Patrice Olivier here and Justin Coveney for a half-time lead of 12-0. Matthew Saunders scored again for the Philippines soon after the interval, a try converted by Alex Aronson before Malaysia finally rallied with a try from Zulkifli Azmi. This would be converted by Mohd Ab Rahman, but the last word would be from the Philippines' Harry Morris. He went over to make it 24-7, and that was the end of the scoring. The Philippines winning gold.
At the Singapore Indoor Stadium, the group stage of the team table tennis reached its conclusion, with the top 2 teams from each pool progressing to the last 4. The host nation won 4 of the 5 individual table tennis golds, and the men's team were looking dominant, comfortably winning 3 matches out of 3 to book a place in the semi-finals alongside Vietnam, Malaysia and Indonesia. Over in the women's event, Singapore also had little trouble advancing to the last 4. They didn't drop a game as they topped Pool A. In the semi-finals, they will meet Malaysia. In the final tie of the group stage, Laos met Vietnam. A semi-final clash with Thailand and a guaranteed medal awaited the winner. The first rubber of the best-of-5 clash saw Nguyen Thi Na, the bronze medalist in the individual event, take on Laos' Siang Davieng Duang Panya. The first 2 games were tight affairs, with Nguyen narrowly prevailing in both, 11-8 and 11-9. Game 3 was much more comfortable, and Nguyen taking it 11-4 and with it giving Vietnam a 1-0 lead.
11-4. Yeah, match go to Vietnam. Vietnam wins 3 games to love.
Next up, Tip Phalak Sanevad met Mai Hoang Ma Trang, and it was the Vietnamese paddler Mai who took the opening game 11-3.
Game 1 score 11-3. Game 2 Vietnam.
Mai has already picked up 2 bronze medals in these SEA Games in singles and mixed doubles, and she outplayed her Laotian opponent here.
2-5.
The final score 11-3, 11-5, 11-7. Another straightforward win for Vietnam, who needed just one more victory to book their semi-final berth. Phan Giang was hoping to complete the win against 19-year-old Laotian Sisangvan Phirmayu, and she took game 1 11-5. Game 2 was even more straightforward for Phan. 11-3 the score, and Vietnam were on the verge of a guaranteed medal.
10-3.
And she wrapped things up in just 14 minutes at the table, 11-1 this time, as it finished 3-0 to Phan and 3-0 to Vietnam, completing the field for the final 4.
The Kallang Tennis Centre was the venue for the quarter-finals of the team event, where the featured contest was between the men from Singapore and Malaysia. Local hopes in the first of the 3-match series lay with Isaac Yong Ong up against Malaysia's Aries Dean Hashim. And it was the latter who broke 3 times in the opening set to take it 6-3. But Hashim didn't have it all his own way. Already a breakdown before needing treatment for what appeared to be a stomach problem early in the second. And his opponent took full advantage, racing to a 6-2 lead to take the match into a decider. Back came Hashim though, who'd already broken in the opening game of the third before continuing to find his range. And when the Malaysian broke again to take a 5-3 lead, the end was in sight. Hashim wrapping up the win, 6-3, 2-6, 6-3. So the pressure then on Singapore's Roy Alef Hobbs in match 2, taking on Syed Nagiub. But it was the Malaysian who seized the early initiative, breaking at the very first attempt and again in game 8 to see out the set 6-2. Not to be outgunned, Hobbs bounced back, the Singaporean finding his form in the second to reverse that scoreline with some quality play and level the contest. So to the third and final set, where both players broke in the opening 2 games before settling into their stride, with a decisive moment coming in game 10 of the third. Nagiub finally earning a match point and taking it to win 6-2, 2-6, 6-4. It meant the final doubles rubber would not affect the outcome. Malaysia moving on to the final 4, where they will face Thailand. The other semi-final sees the Philippines take on defending champions Indonesia.
The men's 9-ball doubles was last seen in the 2009 SEA Games in Laos when Vietnam secured gold against Indonesia. Carlo Biado and his teammate Warren Kiamko of the Philippines faced Vietnam's Hoan Quan Do and An Tuan Ungayan in this year's final. The Philippines quickly got into their stride. They settled into a commanding position after winning the opening 2 racks. We join the action in the third with the Philippines at the table.
Hitting not a problem, but control is. Needs to bring Vietnam back into this final. Very smooth and rhythmical.
Rack 7 saw Vietnam stumble when Hoan Quan failed to pot the blue, giving the Philippines the chance to re-establish their lead just before a timeout.
The deliberations worked. That could go anywhere, and it's turned out pretty badly for Hong Kong. They've won the tactical battle so far, have the Filipino pairing. And they lead by 6 frames to 3.
Vietnam then displayed just how the scores can change following a wonderful cannon shot on the 9-ball to fight back after the Philippines had produced a 3-rack lead.
There is space there for the 2-ball to cannon into the 4-ball. Not like that. Indeed they do.
We join midway through the 15th with the Philippines 8-6 to the good.
And that could be the gold medal shot. This for a gold medal. Gentle roll into the centre pocket. And the man you'd want at the helm for that is a certain Warren Kiamko. They've won it. It's an excellent performance.
So Carlo Biado and Warren Kiamko seized their opportunity in a tactical performance that saw the pair overcome the resilience of Hoan Quan Do and Antoine Ungayan to grab the Philippines' 5th gold medal of the 2015 SEA Games. In the other gold medal discipline in the snooker and billiards, Tan Bien Ungayan was looking to break Singapore's dominance of the men's English billiards when he met Peter Gilchrist in the 2015 SEA Games final. Gilchrist had dominated this discipline, winning gold in the last 3 consecutive games. It was a close encounter until the midway stage, with both players potting well. The 3-time world billiards champion turned up the heat and he stormed past Tan Bien Ungayan by 501 points to 291 in his first ever final of a 500 points event of the billiard singles. In doing so, he claimed Singapore's first Q Sports gold medal in their home games.
Sunday morning at a rainy Singapore sports hub, and the marathon events got underway, with the route taking in 5 laps of an East Coast circuit and many of the city's famous landmarks, including Marina Bay and the Singapore Flyer. It certainly brought out the best in home runner So Rui Yong, who timed his burst to perfection, overtaking Thailand's Boonthung Sursung over the last 300 metres to claim Singapore's first athletics gold of these games. His time was 2 hours, 34 minutes, 56 seconds. Vietnam's Nguyen Tan Hoang took the bronze. Thailand did boast the gold medalist in the women's race though, with Nataya Tanawanarat coming home in 3 hours, 3 minutes, 24 seconds. That was over a minute ahead of Mary Joy Tabal of the Philippines, with Vietnam's Thi Tan Hoang winning bronze.
Very different conditions greeted the athletes ahead of the men's triathlon at the East Coast Park as rain fell relentlessly on the course. Ahead of the start, all eyes were on the Filipino duo of Jonard Saim and Nico Huelgas. They were striving to give their nation both golds in triathlon for the very first time in Southeast Asian Games history. However, initial signs were not good, as Wutiwat Hemwet of Thailand took the lead in the water, closely followed by Lu Truong Rong and Chao Sheng Ren from Singapore. They led at the end of the 1.5k swim, but Huelgas was still in touch, 4th at this stage, just a minute and a half down on Hemwet. And the top-placed Filipino managed to close the gap on the 40k bike ride. At the second transition, the top 8 were separated by just 19 seconds. So, onto the run, Huelgas's strongest suit, and it wasn't long before he had control. Malaysia's Rikigoro Shinazuka accelerated into second, but it was Huelgas who led the way, crossing the line 1 minute and 3 seconds ahead of the Malaysian. A triumph for the Portuguese high-performance training camp that both Huelgas and women's silver medalist King Mangarabang attended. Liu won the sprint for bronze, beating compatriot Chow by 29 seconds, Hemwet's bid failing towards the end as he faded to 8th. Another gold for Philippines, giving them 2 at this stage of the day.
Day 2 at the OCBC Aquatic Centre, and all eyes were on local hope Joseph Schooling. With 7 gold medals in his past 2 Southeast Asian Games, the 19-year-old Singaporean was eager to add to his tally in the men's 100 metres freestyle. With 5 records broken on day 1, the stage was set for more to fall in the 6 individual finals scheduled on day 2. First up, it was the women's 50 metres butterfly, appearing in the Games for the first time. With 3 medals in 2013, Vietnam's Nguyen Thi An Vien loomed in lane 3, while local hopes were with Ting Wen Qua in lane 2 and Games record holder Li Tao in lane 4.
Great start into her work very quickly. Srisaad of Thailand. Where is Tao Li? Will go up high and have a look. She's in front now. Tao Li of Singapore. She looks up and eyes the end. She knows it's within reach now, and a convincing win by Tao Li. Absolutely smashed this field, this high-quality field.
So day 2 of the swimming would begin with gold and silver for Singapore. Li Tao breaking her own Games record, finishing ahead of compatriot Ting Wen Qua, with bronze going to Jasmine Alcalde from the Philippines. For the 25-year-old Tao, it was an unbelievable 13th gold medal in her 6th Southeast Asian Games. The marquee event of the evening was the men's 100 metres freestyle, where Joseph Schooling was out in search of his 8th SEA Games gold. Defending gold medalist, and with the 200 metres gold already under his belt, Huang Koi Pok would pose the local favourites' biggest threat in lane 3.
It's the final of the men's 100 freestyle, and some of the superstars of Asian swimming are in action tonight, with Schooling in lane 4 from Singapore, training out of the States, world-class athlete, setting himself a big target. Big program here tonight, and if they thought this was going to be a tight race, look at that. 0.87 ahead of the rest after 50. What sort of form is this man in? Huang, the 200 metres freestyle gold medalist, was hanging on, but there's nothing but air behind Schooling at the moment. What a race! Well, it's not a race, what a performance. He's touched, we wait for the rest. Gold and silver, Singapore. I want more, says Schooling. He's in great nick.
What a performance. Joseph certainly schooling the rest of the field, taking gold by more than a second ahead of fellow countryman Zheng Wen Qua, while Vietnam's Huang Koi Pok took home the bronze. For Schooling, his new Games record was the 15th fastest time in the world this year for the 100 freestyle. The women's 200 metres backstroke saw the host nation's day of dominance end. Vietnam's Iron Girl Nguyen Thi An Vien had her revenge after disappointment in the 50 metres butterfly, smashing the field to finish 3 seconds ahead of Yesi Yosaputra from Indonesia and Roxanne Yu from the Philippines. It was Nguyen's 3rd gold of the Games. To the men's 100 metres breaststroke, and Malaysian Phu Kang Wong and Thailand's Radamios Mathieu were the favourites, with the local hopes with Chien Yin Koo in lane 4. But sadly for Singapore, there will be no upset. Wong continuing his fantastic year, which has already seen him break a 15-year-old national record and qualify for the World Championships by winning the gold medal. Mathieu, who won the 200 metres 24 hours earlier, came second. Vietnamese prodigy Nguyen Thi An Vien is rapidly becoming the star of these SEA Games. Victory in the 200 individual medley was the 18-year-old's 4th gold in Singapore, and in the process she set a 5th Games record, a winning time 2 minutes 13.53. Piang Quan Pawapotako took home her 2nd IM silver, having also come 2nd in the 400. Samantha Yeoh of Singapore won the bronze. The final race of the night was the men's 4x200 metres freestyle relay, and taking centre stage again was Joseph Schooling and Team Singapore. The Singaporeans had the home fans in a frenzy, and they were out to defend their 2013 gold. Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand and the Philippines were out to cause an upset. We join the action with Singapore holding a commanding lead heading into the last leg.
Final change. Cheng Wan. Malaysia's Lin Ching Kwang. Waiting for the 3rd. Or there's been a change in positions. Indonesia, Satro Putra will go out in 3rd place ahead of Thailand. 150 to go. Singapore in front, as they have been throughout after that blistering first 200 by Joseph Schooling. So 7:26. It's going to be close for that record. 100. Cheng Wan really needs to drive it in now. Nobody pushing, it's he against the clock. How good is he on the final 50? Oh, look at the kick. You can see the energy that he's putting into this. He's driving that body through the water. The arms will be pulling bucket loads underneath. The kick hasn't stopped. The rotation has increased. The crowd eggs him on. Losing his form a little bit. It's like a sprinter now. Oh, he's smashing it. Smashed. 8 seconds. 7:18. The Games record has been shattered in this final race of night 2. The men's 4x200 freestyle relay goes the way of Singapore yet again, and they've blitzed the previous Games record.
The first medals were decided in the petanque with the men's and women's shooting finals. The events being held in the heart of Singapore's commercial district at the famous Padang. In the men's shooting final, it was Thailand's Thanakorn Sangkayu who took the gold medal by 5 points. And in the women's final, Vietnam's Thi Nguyen beat Indonesia's Anissa Alfar with a score of 29-22 to clinch 1 more gold for her country.
It was a good day for Vietnam in the men's indoor 10-metre air pistol finals at Yishun. Following on from a team gold, Tran Quong was victorious in the individual competition, while Singapore's Thie Shun Ji took the women's individual 10-metre air pistol gold, and Thailand came out on top in the women's team event too. The final of the men's precision pistol event took place across town at the National Shooting Centre. Thailand's Panawat Thamawai won the gold with a score of 232. Meaning the host nation's Anwar Abdullah had to settle for the silver medal, with Tay Kar Hoon, also of Singapore, taking the bronze.
In other news, on day 2, after a delay due to weather, the first sailing gold of the Games was decided in the under-16 Team Optimist class, when Malaysia defeated Singapore 2-0 in the final. Bronze went the way of the world champions.
Traditional or dragon boat racing often provides some of the more dramatic and emotional scenes of the SEA Games, and this year was no exception, with Thailand dominating the gold medals at Marina Bay on the final day of the regatta.
Thailand #1!
Victory in the men's TBR 12 crew was matched by the women's 6 and 12 crew teams. But they couldn't quite manage a clean sweep. Myanmar, the nation that had topped the TBR medals table at home 2 years ago, but who'd come second in 3 races here, did make it to the top spot of the podium in the men's 6 crew.
Back at the Singapore Expo Hall for the second gold medal event in Chin Long saw that Laos were paired against defending champions Myanmar in the non-repetition secondary category. It wasn't long before Myanmar's class showed as they quickly opened up a 10-point lead, leaving Team Laos wondering what they'd have to do to catch them at the break. Despite second period resilience for those in red, eventually they'd have to settle for another silver in this year's Chin Long, as the holders reclaimed the crown, running out winners by 140 points to 87. Day 2's action kicked off with Thailand defending their title in the same stroke category against the might of Myanmar, whose brilliance and composure had secured them a lead of 126 to 98 by the break, promoting early celebrations. Then it was just a matter of time until they clinched their second gold in Chin Long, their first ever in the discipline, beating Thailand by 250 points to 195. But Thailand wouldn't have to wait long to rectify their loss, as they took on the 2013 bronze medalists Malaysia in the non-repetition primary event to conclude Chin Long at this year's SEA Games. The Thai team's sharp and pacey play allowed them to dominate the contest, beating Malaysia 264 to 200 and extending their nation's tally to 20 gold medals.
In Group B of the men's football, Vietnam faced Timor-Leste as they look to cut the gap on Thailand, who topped the group. A point will ensure qualification to the semi-finals for the Vietnamese, while a win will see them go into their final game with the Thais level on points to decide the group winner. For Timor-Leste, qualification to the latter rounds looks like nothing but a pipe dream. All Vietnam early on, and the opening goal. Tran Ky Son, unmarked inside the area, easy. It's forward from Do. Timor-Leste struggling desperately at the back and almost conceding a second. Just the width of the crossbar there, denying Ngok Ho. It's away by Araujo, but not very far. Oh, they're dancing their way through. Touch on it from the goalkeeper, must be. Well, how did that stay out? Tran and Pham were in there, but somehow Timor-Leste have scrambled that to safety. 3 minutes into the second period, Timor-Leste still to muster a shot here. Comes wide for Kay. And across to the far side, again they're queuing up, and that is 2-0. Hong Quan Mac, his third of the tournament, and much like the Vietnamese opening goal here, he was unmarked inside the area. That's wide from Doi Do. Here's Vu, still going, and that's in field there to Kay, and so nearly a third goal. Well, you doff your cap there to Max Sanchez, the goalkeeper, able to tip that round the post. Fine stop. That was Bam. Look at the room again for Kay. Is he able to pick out another red shirt? Well, he went for goal himself, and that is 3-0. Well, did he mean it? Does it matter? Oh, they're getting themselves into trouble here, Timor-Leste. And that's De Jesus robbed. It's Vaux away, and the goalkeeper spilled it. It's 4. Well, they're looking in a sorry state now, Timor-Leste. Huy Tuan Vaux will claim number 4 and seal the win. Easy pickings for Vietnam. That's 16 goals in 4 games for Miura's team. They'll effectively play off with Thailand now to see who wins this group. Final score, 4-0.
Medals on the wushu mats in Singapore continued to come thick and fast on day 2. A total of 7 golds on offer across 2 sessions of action. In the women's optional Taijiquan, Linswell Kwok of Indonesia went 1 better than her silver at the Asian Games in Incheon last year, collecting the first title of the afternoon. The optional straight sword was won by Vietnam's Thuy Vi Duong, who is said to train twice a day, 6 days a week. The hard work clearly paying off. And there was a first wushu gold of these games for Malaysia in the optional Nan Quan and Nan Dao Nan Quan, as 29-year-old Diana Xiong-Lin Bong used all her experience to claim the prize. While over in the men's, Daniel Paratak from the Philippines was able to improve upon his silver from the day before in the team duel event with individual gold in the optional Taijiquan. Duong was aiming to make it 2 victories in the day when she took to the mat in the women's optional Changguan in the evening session. Her routine laid down an early benchmark in the competition. She was followed by local girl Zoe Mui, who already had a silver medal to her name from the dual events on day 1. With a further 3 silvers from the SEA Games in Myanmar 2 years ago, she finally got the gold she must have so dearly wanted with that display. Now to the more ferocious cudgel discipline for the men, and there was a feeling Man Quinn Nguyen was looking for retribution, having been disqualified at the last Southeast Asian Games for breaking his cane. He was setting the early pace with a score of 9.68 from the judges. His lead would not last for long, as Yong Yi Chang took to the mat shortly after. An inspired performance from Yong, who already has a gold to his name. But this was a hugely competitive field, and the penultimate athlete, Ahmad Hualefi, would ensure there was one final twist. a stunning display of speed, aggression and agility to take gold for Indonesia.
9.73!
And Haris Horatius ensured there'd be a party in the Indonesian camp. He won their third Wushu title of the day in the optional Nan Quan and Nan Gun.
9 more golds for Singapore today took their tally to 26. In total, the host nation added another 38 medals to extend their lead at the top of the overall rankings. Vietnam are second. They lead Thailand by virtue of having won 1 more gold, but the Thais have a superior overall total. At the bottom, still no golds, but 2 bronzes today for Brunei, ups their tally to 5. And we leave you with Singapore's first ever gold medal in netball, receiving the presidential seal of approval.